Chapter 22, Shrek. You won't believe this, Stephanie says to Brooke as they're standing in front of her locker. What? Brooke replies, shutting her locker to face her. I'm babysitting Christopher's sister, Steph says. Quit joking around, Steph, Brooke scolds. I'm serious, B. I went to babysit yesterday and found out it was Chris' little sister, Emily. Steph explains in a casual tone. Oh my gosh! Brooke squeals. This is a sign, Steph. A fucking sign. She grins. Ah, geez. Steph exclaims with a facepalm. What sign? This is a sign that the universe wants you and Chris to be together, Brooke babbles. Steph groans unattractively and glares at Brooke. Don't you see it? You're babysitting his sister. That means seeing each other more often and talking. Then boom, the feelings step in and then you're a couple. Holy moly! This is great news, Brooke gushes to Steph's irritation. You're insane, Steph tells her dryly. You are too if you aren't seeing what I'm seeing. You guys would be the cutest couple ever. Brooke grins widely like a Cheshire cat. Ship names for the ship about to sail, Brooke says in a sing-song tone and joins her hands. There won't be any ship names and no ship is about to sail, Steph shudders. Just then, Luke and Cole join them. Hey girls, Luke says. Cole, who is staring at Brooke with the huge grin she has on her face, says, Hey Brooke, totally forgetting that Steph is present. Hey Cole, Brooke replies to him. Cole and Brooke continue to stare at each other, smiling. Luke and Stephanie exchange amused looks. You guys should date already, Steph groans in exasperation, throwing her hands in the air dramatically. The items in her hands fall to the ground and Luke chuckles. When she realizes what has happened, she becomes mortified. Cole and Brooke stare at Steph as she bends to pick up her books with Luke helping her. Thanks! Since Cole looks like he's in a daze, I'll do the talking, Luke declares. Okay? Are you guys still in for tomorrow's plans? Luke asks. Yeah, Brooke grins. Wouldn't miss it. Steph rolls her eyes at Brooke's answer. Steph? Yeah, she answers Luke. Cool, he pulls out his phone, unlocks it, and hands it over to her. Can I get your number? Steph doesn't hide the surprise on her face and Luke notices. He quickly adds, so I can text you when and where we'll meet tomorrow. Steph nods and slowly dials her digits on his phone before saving it under her name. She hands his phone back to him and turns to see Brooke doing the same with Cole. Wait, they haven't exchanged numbers before? Where should we go? The movies? Park? Mall? Brooke asks. Let's go to an amusement park. Let's go see a movie. Aladdin maybe. Brooke and Steph suggest at the same time. I'll agree with Brooke, Cole says. Steph rolls at that. Of course, he'd agree with anything Brooke says. What about you, Luke? Brooke questions. We could do both. Go to the park and then go see a movie. Luke counters. That's a good idea. Steph agrees. Yeah, Cole and Brooke say in unison. Cool. We'll talk later, Cole says just as the bell rings. Okay, bye, Brooke says as they go their separate ways. It's another history class and Mrs. Green is teaching. Stephanie is seated at the same spot she did the last time she had this class when she got detention, and Christopher is seated beside her again, much to her chagrin. And yet again, just like the last time, the lesson is boring. Stephanie finds herself doodling yet again, and luckily for her, Chris hasn't bothered her since the class started. She glances his way and finds him busy with his pencil with a serious look on his face. Seems like the lesson isn't boring to him this time around. She exhales and goes back to scribbling. She wouldn't want to do anything to annoy Mrs. Green. Look what happened the last time. Pissed, she hears from beside her. Gosh! Why does he love doing that? Pissed, he does it again. She turns to face Chris. Look, it's a drawing of Mrs. Green, he whispers and slightly lifts his notebook to show her a drawing. Steph stares at the drawing that looks nothing like their history teacher. It kinda looks like Ogre Princess Fiona from Shrek. Stephanie begins to chuckle at that thought. She looks forward just as Mrs. Green notices her. She immediately turns her chuckles into coughs and pretends to be in slight pain. Chris tries not to smile, opening his notebook to the next page in case Mrs. Green decides to walk over. "What is it, Valentine?" Mrs. Green asks with displeasure. "I'm sorry, ma'am. I choked on my saliva," Steph lies, letting out a few more fake coughs. Mrs. Green gives her a disapproving look and decides not to say anything. She instead continues with her teaching. Steph turns to glower at Chris and he gives her a sheepish smile. She has no idea when her lips break into a smile of their own. He wasn't concentrating after all. Just busy drawing an ogre-like version of Mrs. Green. Minutes later, class is over and it is the last class for today. Students file out after the teacher, but Stephanie stays put in her seat, carefully and sluggishly packing her things. Chris stays back too, and immediately after the last person walks out the door, he speaks up. "So how do you like my drawing of Green?" he asks, smirking. "I swear it's like you want to get my name in Mrs. Green's black book, and I don't want that. And I think drawing is not one of the things you're good at," she replies as she stands. "I wouldn't be so sure about that if I were you. Didn't you see my awesome drawing?" he remarks. He turns the pages of his notebook and tears out the page with the drawing. "Here," he stretches it to her. "You can have my amazing work of art. You can ask for my autograph another time." He grins. "No, thank you. It's very awful for something called art." "No, it is not," he disagrees. "It looks like Fiona from Shrek," she tells him, watching him rise to his feet. "She seems to be in a good mood today," Chris concludes in his head. "No, it doesn't. Wasn't Fiona the princess that was trapped in a tower?" "Your drawing looks like her when she turned into an ogre," she chuckles, heading out of the classroom. Chris stares at his drawing. "Oh, now I see it," he says right behind her. He squeezes the paper and chucks it into a trash can. "I have basketball practice. See you at my house, Hazel." He winks, walking backward in another direction. "Don't be so smug about that," Steph replies in monotone. "Hey, can we meet?" Jason receives a text from Haley, his girlfriend. He smiles before replying, "Sure. Should I come over?" A minute later, she texts back, "No. Can we meet at that ice cream place near my school?" He replies, "Sure. I'll be there in 10. She texts back, "Thanks." She shouldn't be thanking him. Jason is glad she wants to meet up. They don't see each other as much as they would if they go to the same school. Most times, he wishes they attend the same school, but there's nothing he can do. He met her at a party one time when they were juniors and they got to know each other. Fast forward to some weeks later, he asked her out and they've been dating since then. About 5 minutes later, Jason exits his room with his car keys and phone in hand. "Dad," he yells as he descends the stairs. "Stop yelling. I'm here," his dad replies in the living room. "Oh, okay. I'm heading out," he informs his dad, who is watching a football match on the TV. "Where to?" "Haley asked to meet at an ice cream place," he answers. "Haley, say hi to her," his dad tells him. "Sure," he replies as she walks out of the house. He hops into his car and drives off. Jason lives with his dad and he's an only child. His mom and dad are separated and his mom moved to another part of the world after the divorce. He didn't go with her even though she begged him to. He has friends here, a girlfriend, and well, everything else. He couldn't give that up. And he's glad he made that decision because his dad is the best. So yeah, he and Chris both have single parents. He arrives at his destination and parks his car. He gets out of his car and enters the ice cream parlor, the bell chiming as he gets in. He seats in a booth close to the entrance and faces that direction. He pulls out his phone to text Haley but decides against it. He finds himself clicking on his Twitter app instead. Every time the bell chimes when someone walks in, he looks to see if it's her. Finally, Jason looks up after the bell chimes and sees Haley. His girlfriend. The most beautiful blonde he has ever seen. She looks around and sights Jason. She walks up to him and he stands to hug her. "Hey, babe!" He coos with a grin on his face, inhaling the sweet scent of her perfume. "Hi," she forces the word out of her mouth. She feels like breaking down at the mention of that name he usually calls her. They disengage from the embrace and she sits opposite him in the booth. "How are you?" he asks her, smiling. She smiles at him, a sad one, and it doesn't go unnoticed by Jason. "What's wrong, babe?" he questions in concern. That's how Jason is. Always quick to notice when something's wrong. Especially when it concerns her. She removes her joined hands from under the table and rests them on the table, then she exhales. I. She finds herself stuttering, fidgeting with her fingers. That only confirms Jason's suspicion. She never stutters. "What's wrong, Haley?" He calls her by her name this time. "You know you can tell me anything," he says reassuringly, reaching a hand out across the table to catch one of hers. His skin is warm and careful as his fingers intertwine with hers. She focuses her electric blue eyes on their joined fingers, trying to bring the words out of her mouth, the words she knows will break his heart. "I have something to tell you," she tells him quietly. "Go ahead. Tell me." He gives her hand a reassuring squeeze. Haley studies this face, all his features, because he might never want to see her after this. I'm breaking up with you," she mutters under her breath, but loud enough for him to hear. She looks down in mortification. She won't be able to bear the look on his face. It would break her and can make her change her mind. And that wouldn't be good for either of them. Jason has been nothing but a great boyfriend to her, and she can't believe they're ending like this. "What?" Jason croaks. He probably didn't hear that right. She exhales and reiterates, more loudly and firmly. "I'm breaking up with you." Almost immediately, he withdraws his hands from hers. "This is some sick joke, right?" he frets, not believing her. She shakes her head negatively in response. Jason feels like his entire world has just been torn apart. He feels like he's in a horrible nightmare. His hands form fists on his lap. "Why?" he asks. "I'm so sorry, Jay. I didn't want this to happen," she says sadly, almost sobbing as she tries to reach across to touch him. He leans back in repulsion and she drops her hands to her side in defeat. "Just tell me why," he bawls. She hesitates, contemplating whether to tell him or not, but he deserves to know. She owes him that for this heartbreak. "I'm sorry. It's not you, it's me." She quotes the famous punchline that heartbreakers always say. "Don't give me that shit," Jason says through gritted teeth. He's trying to keep his anger at bay. He can't afford to get mad at her. Even if she's breaking his heart. All he needs is to know why she's doing this. "It's just that I like someone else, and..." Her voice cracks. "I don't want to string you along. I started having feelings for someone else, and it wouldn't be fair to keep dating you," she explains, already sobbing. "Who's it?" He watches tears roll down her cheeks. If there's anyone that should be crying in this situation, it should be him. He's the victim here, and she's the one ending things, so why the tears? "I can't tell you," she whimpers. "Why?" "I'm sorry, I just can't. It's better if you do not know," she blubbers. I can't do this anymore," she says and hurriedly walks out. He covers his face with both hands after some seconds of staring at the exit. Why does it feel like she just walked out of his life? Maybe because she did. He props his elbows on the table. Minutes later, he's in that same position as Piper walks in. She notices him and walks to his booth. "Jason?" she calls with uncertainty. He hears his name, looks up reluctantly, and sees Piper. "What's wrong?" She asks in concern. Can I sit? He sighs and gestures for her to sit. She sits exactly where Haley did. She waits patiently for him to speak, but he doesn't. She decides to get ice cream. Want some ice cream? She asks as she stands. He nods. What flavor? Mint chocolate. He replies with another sigh. It isn't the end of the world. He just needs time to heal. She goes to get them ice cream at the counter. She returns to the table with a bowl of chocolate mint for him and strawberry for her. Wanna talk about it? She asks after sitting. He hesitates and stares into her eyes. They do say a problem shared is half solved. And besides, what does he have to lose? So he tells her. My girlfriend just broke up with me. He laments. I'm so sorry. She mumbles. So he had a girlfriend? It's not your fault. I didn't think Haley would ever do this. Haley? That goes in my school? Piper interrupts. Jason nods. Wow. So how did you guys meet? Piper inquires, and just like that, a conversation begins. Eventually, they graduated from topics about Haley to other things, and at the end of their conversation, Jason finds himself smiling, feeling a lot better. Chapter 23, Debbie Downers. It's Saturday morning and Stephanie is getting ready for her outing with the guys after having breakfast with her parents. Just as she's looking through her closet for what to wear, her phone rings. It's a video call from Brody. She picks up her phone from the bed and sees the caller ID. To say she's surprised would be an understatement. This is the first time that Brody is calling her in a while. He texts once in a while, but barely calls. When she calls, he's usually too busy to answer or something. The last time they spoke on the phone was on Monday, 6 days ago, and she was lucky that he answered. Now he's calling her, and it's barely been a week. She swipes across the screen to answer with a grin on her face. His face appears on the screen. Hello, Stephanie. He greets with a grin of his own. And to what do I owe this August call? She asks suspiciously. And not just any call, a video call. Just decided to see my little sister's face, 'cause I miss her. Is that a crime? He asks with a full-on grin. Why don't I believe you? Steph asks incredulously, fighting back the smile that wants to appear on her face. I've changed, Steph. I'll make time for you now. Brody fails his attempt at the puppy dog eyes thing. Steph laughs. Yeah. What's up? How are you? I'm good. You? She responds, looking away from the screen to her closet. I'm great, awesome, elated. He exclaims. Steph's eyes return to the screen and she narrows them at her brother's reply. Okay, she drags the word. What's going on? Brody notices her doing something else, so she isn't totally concentrating on him. Are you busy? He inquires. Not really. She shrugs. I'm just looking for an outfit to wear out today. You're going out? Brody gapes, not quite believing it. Yeah, Steph answers absent-mindedly. With Brooke? He guesses. Yeah. It was supposed to be she and Cole only, but they insisted that Luke and I come along just because they do not want to admit they're going on a date. She explains to him. She walks away from her closet and sits on her bed. So Brooke has a boyfriend now, and who's Luke? Brody probes. Steph rolls her eyes at the screen. No, Brooke doesn't have a boyfriend yet, but I'm pretty sure she'll be dating Cole soon. I can see it already. And Luke? Luke is in my grade. A very cool and good-looking guy. Brody wiggles his eyebrows suggestively. And very soon you'll be dating Luke. Impossible, Steph huffs. Why? He's Poison Ivy's boyfriend, she deadpans. Brody winces. Ouch. She still has a boyfriend. Geez. They must have a lot in common. They don't actually. Poison Ivy is herself, but Luke is a very nice guy. I don't think they have anything in common, Steph says promptly. Then she must be blackmailing him, he speculates. I doubt that. Why else would he be dating her? He asks in confusion. I don't care. That's their problem to sort out, Steph says, dismissing the topic. So what's going on with you? Any progress with Keely? Brody grins at the mention of her name. Steph smiles. If the grin on your face is anything to go by, there is progress, a good one. So spill, she squeals. I told her how I felt yesterday and she feels the same way. She said she wanted to tell me, but she didn't want to ruin our friendship. She didn't think I'll ever think of her in that way, Brody tells her with a dreamy look on his face. Aha! Steph exclaims and points her index finger at the screen. What did I tell you? Are you guys dating now? Yeah. She's my girlfriend. He emphasizes with a grin. I didn't expect you to tell her so quick, to be honest. I was thinking you'll wait for a month or something. True, but I'm glad I didn't, Brody answers truthfully. A car honks before she can say anything else. Steph knows that sound, but she still rushes to her window and looks out. She sees Brooke's car pulling into their driveway. Oh my! Brooke's here and I'm not ready yet, she exclaims, her eyes slightly wide. You have to go? I'm sorry, Brody says. What for? You're not ready because of me, he replies. Steph shakes her head with a smile. Silly you. We'll talk later, okay? Yeah, sure. Have fun, he says and ends the call. Stephanie drops her phone and hurries to the closet. She chooses what to wear and gets dressed. 5 minutes later, she's hurrying out of the house to Brooke's car. Bye, Mum. Bye, Dad, she yells and shuts the door behind her. Brooke parks her car in the parking lot and they both get out. Where are we meeting them? Steph asks. At the front, Brooke replies and leads the way. As expected, they meet up with Luke and Cole at the front, both of them looking as gorgeous as always. Brooke grins and hugs Cole, who is smiling. Hey! Hey, Steph says to Luke awkwardly and he replies. She begins to think of how bad an idea this is. Cole and Brooke will probably be acting all lovey-dovey all day and she and Luke would just watch. It'll be awkward. They head into the amusement park after paying for tickets. What should we do first? Brooke asks from Steph's right side. Stephanie and Brooke are in between the boys. Luke to the left of Steph and Cole to Brooke's right. The roller coaster, Steph suggests. The guys shrug and they all head for the ride. The ride starts slowly at first and when it picks up, Brooke begins to scream with burgeoning excitement. Steph giggles in excitement, happy she agreed to come. Cole's eyes widen as the velocity increases and eventually, it feels like his breakfast would soon come out of his mouth. Luke is just being his cool self with a smile. He notices the look on Cole's face and bursts into laughter. This is so cool, Brooke shouts, the wind blowing her long brown hair back. Yeah, Steph chuckles. After the ride, Steph and Brooke also notice the look on Cole's face. Are you okay? Steph asks in concern, beating Brooke to it. I'm fine. I just feel like I might puke, Cole grunts. Ah. You baby, Brooke teases him, ruffling his hair. You couldn't handle that little ride. That's so unmanly of you. Cole glares at her playfully, not trying to defend himself. He removes her hand from his hair and holds it. Let's go on the Ferris wheel next, Brooke announces, then turns to Cole. You sure you can handle that? Cole huffs. Of course, I can. You sure, buddy? 'Cause I don't want you puking on the ride, Luke taunts him. I won't puke, Cole grumbles. You weren't saying that about a minute ago, Luke chuckles. Luke, Cole yells in a warning tone. Luke blows him a raspberry and just like that, they begin a wild goose chase around the park, like little kids. Who knew Luke could be like this? Steph asks herself. Boys and their ego, Brooke says with a smile, shaking her head slightly. Enhanced genetic obtuseness, Steph says, remembering she once saw it in a novel, and they both begin to giggle. After going on the Ferris wheel, Brooke speaks up. "Let's go on the pendulum ride," she squeals. "I think I'll pass," Steph replies. "Me too," Luke agrees. "I need to find the boys' restroom," Cole announces and walks off. "Whatever, Debbie Downers. I'm going to have fun without you guys," Brooke says as she walks away, leaving Luke and Steph at the bench they're seated. "Your friend is something," Luke chuckles, watching Brooke walk away. "Trust me, I know that." Steph smiles. "How long have you known her?" Luke asks. "Since 9th grade, and we've been best friends since," Steph answers. "That's great." Some seconds later, Cole joins them. "Where's Brooke?" "She went on the pendulum ride," Steph answers. "Thank God I didn't go. That thing is terrifying," Cole cringes. "Of course, it is," Luke huffs. Cole glowers at him and then faces Steph. "My stomach is pretty messed up. I'm going to get something to eat. You coming?" "I'm okay. I'll stay here," Steph answers. "Get me something, okay?" Luke smiles. Cole rolls his eyes. "Sure thing, master." Luke and Steph laugh as Cole walks away. "So," Luke trails off, thinking of something they can talk about. "What are your pet peeves?" Luke decides to ask. Steph has a thoughtful look on her face. "I don't like people who disregard personal space." "Don't they know there's something called personal space?" Steph snarls with a scowl on her face. Luke laughs. "Me too. I don't like slow walkers, loud chewing, dragging feet, they're annoying G's," Steph tells him. Luke smiles at the look on her face, which shows that those things annoy her. "What about you?" "Loud breathing, poor driving etiquette, and I really hate when people use the word you're instead of your." They are two completely different words, Luke huffs and Steph chuckles. "Using could have instead of could have," Steph says. And the conversation flows easily from there. Olivia and Alexa just got off the Ferris wheel. They're best friends and they decided to come to the park today. "Hey, let's go get cotton candy," Alexa suggests. "Sure." Olivia agrees, looking around. Just then she sees something that catches her eye. "Wait," she stops Alexa and points vaguely in a direction. Alexa follows her gaze and sights two people on a bench. "Isn't that Luke?" Olivia asks. "Yeah, it is," Alexa gapes. "What's he doing here and with her?" "Isn't that Stephanie?" Alexa inquires. "Yeah, it is. Why would he be here with her?" "I don't care, but this information can be useful," Olivia smirks as she pulls out her phone and takes a picture of them. "What do you want to do with that?" Alexa asks in a curious tone. "You'll see," Olivia smirks again, thinking of how useful the photo can be to her. "What are your pet peeves?" "That's if you have any," smiley face. Stay safe. Chapter 24, Threat. It's Monday and Stephanie Valentine isn't in a good mood because it's that time of the month. Yeah, Mother Nature has visited her. And her parents are back to work, they left this morning. Their break is over. She doesn't even bother to make herself breakfast. When Brooke arrives, she leaves the house with her backpack and enters her car. Her movements are almost robotic. "Hey," Brooke greets once Steph enters. "Good morning," Steph grumbles, buckling her seatbelt, then placing her backpack on her lap. Brooke notices her countenance and knows almost immediately that something is wrong. "What's wrong? Woke up on the wrong side of the bed?" Brooke says the last part jokingly in an attempt to lighten the atmosphere. It does not work. "Mother Nature visited, and I just have this feeling in my gut that today is gonna be a bad day." "Don't be pessimistic, and you're always cranky when Aunt Flo visits," Brooke points out. "Whatever. Just drive us to that hellhole." Steph grunts and slumps in her seat. Brooke chuckles lightly and ignites the engine. Minutes later, they're heading for Brooke's locker. Cole suggested that the four of us go see a movie on Saturday since we couldn't see one the other day. Brooke says. Whatever. Steph groans again. She isn't sure she wants to hang out with them again. She had a good time, but she doesn't think it would be a good idea. She's beginning to feel somehow about Luke and she doesn't like it. Not one bit. It started happening during their talk at the amusement park on Saturday. She found out how cool, funny, and interesting he is. Poison Ivy is one lucky bitch. As they kept talking, she was getting fascinated by him. How he talks, his smile, his laugh that sounds like music to her ears, and the way he purses his kissable lips when thinking. Good gravy. Now she sounds like Brody, except that Brody's situation is different. He likes Keely, she doesn't like Luke. Or does she? No, it isn't possible. She has always thought he was cute and good-looking, but never liked him in that way. Though she got to know a little about him on Saturday, that doesn't mean she likes him, right? Is it possible to start to like someone just like that? Absolutely not. She's leaning on the locker next to Brooke's, busy thinking as she absent-mindedly watches her. Hey, Brooke. Steph knows that voice. The voice of the person that just kinda barged into her life. Chris. Brooke smirks, turning around to face him. Hazel. He gives her a subtle nod. She's tired of correcting him about the name and trying to push him away. If he wants to be her friend, well, we'll see about that. And if he's trying to hook up with her, it won't happen. And besides, she's in no mood to start with him this awful morning. So she sighs and answers. Hi. That surprises Chris, while Brooke smirks, apparently enjoying the look on his face. Chris stares at her in disbelief. She just answered without correcting him about the name. What happened to don't call me that, and what do you want? He muses. This was not what he expected. So he decides to ask the safest question. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Steph groans, pushing herself off the locker. I need to get some notes from my locker. See you later, B. She tells her, then turns to Chris. You too, Christopher. Then she walks away. Chris finds her behavior rather strange as he watches her go. What's wrong with her? He asks Brooke. She's a little cranky, so I'll give her some space if I were you. Brooke answers him. Okay. I'll see you around. Sure, she replies. Stephanie is already seated when Mike walks in. He sees her just as she notices him, which leads to their eyeballs meeting. Luke grins and begins to walk to her. She feels something in the pit of her stomach at the sight of his grin. She feels weird. She doesn't know why she feels this way. She looks away momentarily and shuts her eyes to take a deep breath as if in preparation for something big about to happen. Hey, Steph. Luke says as he's already in front of her. She opens her eyes and looks up to meet his eyes. Hi. She tries to smile, trying not to make this awkward. How are you? He asks, taking the empty seat beside her. I'm good. You? Great. Luke smiles. I had fun on Saturday. We could all go see a movie next time, Luke suggests. Steph shrugs. She doesn't think she'd want a next time. But he doesn't need to know that. The teacher walks in, preventing further conversation, which Steph is grateful for. It's lunch break and Ivy isn't heading in the cafeteria's direction. She's heading towards the girls' bathroom with a blank look on her face. Aspen is right beside her and they look determined to get to their destination. Ivy had received a text from an unknown number yesterday. It said, Hey Ivy. I have something that would be of use to you. Where should we meet in school tomorrow? Ivy had replied after a little deliberation, wondering who it was. Who is this? She got a reply. It's Olivia from school. We have chemistry together. Ivy frowned on seeing that reply. She tried to recall Olivia from her chemistry class, but she couldn't. She doesn't know anybody called Olivia. So she texted back. I don't remember any Olivia from chemistry. What did you say you have? She got a reply in seconds. It has to do with Luke. That caught her interest. Okay. Meet me in the girls' bathroom during lunch tomorrow. I will. She got that reply. She had wondered what the so-called Olivia could possibly have that'll be useful to her. And she's still wondering. If whatever Olivia has isn't of use to her, she's in for it, for bothering her. Now, she's about to find out with Aspen. She had told Aspen everything this morning. They walk into the bathroom to find it empty. No one in any of the stalls, and Ivy doesn't like it. Olivia isn't here yet, Aspen announces. And you think I can't see that? Ivy replies with a scoff. They walk to the front of the mirror and begin to touch up their makeup. About a minute later, someone enters the bathroom in a hurry and breathing heavily. They both turn to find a girl with ginger-colored hair who has a phone in her hand. She props her hands on her knees as she tries to catch her breath. It's quite obvious she sort of raced here, and Ivy doesn't need anyone to tell her that it's who they've been waiting for. You're late, Ivy says snootily, putting her lipstick away. I know, Olivia sighs. I'm sorry. So what is it you have that would be of use to me? Ivy inquires without preamble, inspecting her fingernails as if not interested in the conversation. Olivia stands upright and walks closer. I think Luke is cheating on you. She drops a bomb. What? Aspen exclaims. Ivy doesn't look bothered by that bit of information. She just looks slightly interested. What proof do you have? Ivy asks. I saw him at an amusement park on Saturday with a girl. Olivia tells them. And who is this girl? Does she go here? Yes. I think her name is Stephanie, Olivia answers promptly. How do you expect us to believe you? For all I know, you might be feeding us crap, Aspen huffs, skeptical. Olivia goes on her phone, scrolling and clicking until she finds what she's looking for, the picture of Luke and Steph that she took on Saturday. Here, she says, turning the screen of the phone so that they can see it. Ivy's eyes widen and she takes the phone from Olivia's grasp to get a better look. She sees that indeed a girl is in the picture with Luke. They're sitting on a bench and seem to be enjoying each other's company. Who the fuck is she? Ivy growls. How dare she? Does she know he's my boyfriend? Olivia doesn't say anything, but Aspen does. She clearly doesn't. I took another one of them in class this morning. Olivia shows them. Ivy hands the phone to Aspen for her to get a better look. She's seething. Send me those pictures, Ivy commands as Aspen hands Olivia back the phone. And what is it you want in exchange for this information? Ivy asks. She knows that Olivia would something in return. I want you to hook me up with Cole, Olivia says without hesitation. Ivy and Aspen exchange a knowing look. They know they can't do that. It would be a lost course. Cole would never agree to that. He barely talks to them, let alone this. There is no chance they'd be able to do what Olivia wants. I'll see what I can do, Ivy remarks and heads out with Aspen behind her. After the last class of the day, Steph heads to her locker. Her path gets blocked by two bodies. Poison Ivy and her puppet. If it isn't the Stephanie, Ivy snickers, giving Steph a once-over. Steph mentally freaks out a little. Why would Poison Ivy be talking to her? And why did she say article the before her name? And with emphasis? Steph tries to speak, but Ivy stops her. I don't even want to hear your pathetic voice, so zip it. I want to warn you to stay away from Luke. I don't want to see you with or anywhere around him. If I do, I'd make your life hell in this school, Ivy says menacingly with a vicious glare. Then she and Aspen walk away, swaying their hips. Bye bitch, Ivy hollers before turning into another hallway, leaving Steph to process everything that she just said. Steph finds her way to Brooke after stopping at her locker, still in a daze and finding it hard to believe what happened. What's wrong? Brooke inquires. I think Poison Ivy just threatened to make my life miserable if I don't stay away from Luke. She answers, still not quite believing it. Today sure is one bad day, just as she predicted. What? Brooke gapes. Do you know the worst part of all this? Brooke shakes her head. I think I like Luke. Holy shit. Brooke drops the things in her hands with her mouth wide open.